Hi guys, for some time now I've needed to swap my glove box lock, having damaged it a little while ago. One thing that's supplied with the glove box lock is a complete lock set, which is your petrol tank lock and the ignition barrel. Now this video just shows how to do that, and I would say before we start, my idea was that I could have just swapped out the glove box lock and carried two keys on my keyring. I didn't want to do that, but as you'll see from the video, the ignition barrel is a little bit of a complicated job. So if you're not comfortable with undoing things and stripping things down, you might opt for the two key option. However, I just wanted to have the one, so let's see how this goes. This is the lock set for a Royal Alloy GP. The only difference between this and a GT is actually the lock for the glove box, which is different on the GT. It's a smaller affair. So this is what you get with the lock set. You get the ignition barrel, and that plugs in, so that's probably the most time consuming part to replace. You get glove box lock, quite simple, and you get the petrol cap. And so I need to replace mine because I damaged the glove box lock. Now you could, of course, just replace the glove box lock and carry two keys, but that's not a very elegant solution, so we're going to replace all three. So probably the simplest thing to do is to just open up your glove box there. I've slackened this off, but take that nut off there. And the lock will just drop out. There we go. Having taken that out, we'll just fit the new one from the back there, and you will need to turn the key to get this lock nut back on there, and that's just going to tighten up, and I will tighten that up with a socket probably just to get it nipped up tight. But there you are. So probably the easiest part of this lock set swap is going to be the petrol cap. There's the old one out, and he said the new one in. The third and last lock to switch out is the ignition barrel. Now this is the most involved. It means taking off the horn cast. Now I've previously made a video showing how to do this, and on the end screen of this video I'll put a link to that. But before we do that, we need to take off the glove box, and we do this by removing the 4 chrome dome nuts in the corners there, and that's what I'll do next. So I've now took the horn cast off, and this is the other side of the ignition barrel, and you can see there's a star-headed bolt there, and there's one down below here. Now that's obviously not going to be an easy one to get out, but we need to take those two out. Now this here is important because it actually holds a nut on the end, and it will drop if you don't hold it as you take the Allen screw out the other side that holds the hook in. So just warning you about that. Well, I've taken that top security screw out. It's a security hex T30. Getting the bottom one is going to be difficult, so I'm going to take off the ignition cover on the other side. I'm going to remove this ignition shroud here now by removing this Allen screw there. Now don't forget to hold on to that plastic tag on the other side that holds the nut on it, otherwise it will drop and you'll be looking for it. Well, I've taken off the ignition shroud there, the cover for the barrel, and you can see we've got the cover itself, we've got the Allen screw that goes through the middle, a self-tapping screw that goes in the side, and this is the piece that I want you to hang on to, because you need to hold that round when you refit this. However, it appears that I won't be able to access the bottom fixing on the barrel without moving the leg shields back. Now I'm going to remove this nut here and see if that will give me sufficient leeway to move the leg shields back without taking any of the fixings off. So I'll take that off now. So as you can probably see now, I've taken the front mudguard off, and after undoing the nut on the back of the leg shields, there isn't sufficient flexibility for me to move the shields back to get at the offending screw. So it's off with the floorboard runners. As you can see, I've taken off the floorboard runners. I've also taken out the hex-headed set screws that actually fix the leg shields onto the frame, and that has given me enough flexibility to push the leg shields back enough to get the offending screw. So there we have it. Sorry about the wobbly camera, but an awful lot of work just to get to that one Torx, security Torx. I think it's a T30, but it's a lot of work to get here, so I'm just going to take that off. So having unscrewed that barrel, it's simply a question of disconnecting here. Now probably can't do this one-handed, but this actually had a tie wrap on it, which I'm going to replace because they've obviously done that in case they vibrate out. So that's the replacement in, and I put a tie wrap to keep those locked together. A tip would be to protect the underside of your headset by putting some gaffer tape or protection on the paint, so that when you move your leg shield back you don't damage your paint. So it's a question now of reassembling everything, and we'll have to get on with that.